Hello. Today I'd like to introduce the book, The Four Pillars of Investing. This book, as you can probably tell from the title, is about the basics of investing. And it's a very popular, very well-known book about the very basics. And according to the author, the basics of investing can be represented as four pillars. The first pillar is the theory of investing. The second is the history of investing. The third is the behavior psychology of investing. And finally, the fourth is the business of investing. To talk about the first pillar, there is a lot of, of information that probably everyone has heard of at least once. Without great risk, there is no expectation of great reward. The market is always smarter than us, and in order to invest properly, we must minimize risk while maximizing reward through a diverse portfolio of investment. These are things that everyone has heard of and is probably bored to death of, but at the same time, it's very difficult to implement practically. Therefore, it deserves a reread whenever you have the chance. The second pillar is about the history of investing. Things like the natural sciences or accounting are fields that the history is kind of irrelevant and not very pertinent to the average day practitioner. However, investing is one field in which the history is imperative. It's not optional at all. In order to ensure long-term profitability. This is not because history can tell you accurately forecast the future. The fact that no one knows the future of the markets is a recurring theme in the book. However, without knowing history, one can never predict the long-term and the short-term flow, the cycle of the investing world. We must know the history in order to accurately gauge the risk of the market currently, according to the author. The third pillar is about the psychology. We as humans are emotional animals and are prone to act on our fears and instincts and in turn make the wrong choice. While our animalistic brain has served us well many years ago when we were hunter-gatherers, in the investing world, these kinds of emotional and instinctual level of thought is detrimental. To tell you of some of the common mistakes that amateurs make, one is the fact that we have too much confidence, overconfidence in our abilities. And another is that we become married to some of our stocks, some of our investments, to bring too much attention to one field or one stock. According to the author, the best investing, the proper method of investing, is not fun at all. It's not exciting, not stimulating. In fact, the best kind of investing is boring and is a very ordinary portfolio management strategy. The fourth pillar is that of the business of investing, and this part goes into the various financial instruments and products and services that are in the world, as well as tips and tricks to not get tricked and not pay more fees than you have to. According to this author, learn the basics of investing at least, does not take long. While the field of investing is very deep and and is worthwhile and is a lifetime's worth of research, the truth is that the average investor does not study or research very much. Therefore, only by studying the basics of investing, that puts one at the higher end in the investing knowledge spectrum, and in turn gives him a better chance of beating the average investor. Reading this book, the part that had the most impact for me is how much he stressed the importance of risk management. Many people think that risk and reward are two very different things. However, according to the author, these two are the two sides of the same coin. In the long term, risk management equals profitability. Therefore, as investors, the best course of action for us is to manage a very good portfolio while hedging your risk. Lots of good information in this book. However, some of the author's opinions, of which there were a lot, did not seem pertinent to this day and age. For example, the author said that taking the currency off the gold standard and letting governments have free control of the monetary supply through monetary policies was in fact a good thing and resulted in an overall net positive for society. However, this is hard to defend at this current juncture, considering the fact that we're living in a post-corona period in which basically all of the governments of the world printed way too much money, and which resulted in persistent inflation that we still deal with till this day. Yet, this book was great for learning the basics, and I would highly recommend it to anyone who wants to start with the foundations of investing. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.